watching someone play the game or watching yourself play the game and like figuring out why am I making the decisions I'm making or why is the top player making the decisions they're making. So like for example, I will type in Street Fighter 6 replays. I'll go to the replay channel and I'll click the first match, which is Hikaru versus Fudo. I clicked on the very first thing I saw, and the very first decision that happens, like that's like interesting, I will talk about why the person did it, right? So why did these players do the things that they do? Why did Fudo charge medium flicker? Well, it's because charge medium flicker beats regular fireball, and then if you charge it, it will pull her in through it, and it's a good option to check her in mid-range. And he walked back far enough away that she could have been whiffing at this time as well, so it would have beat a bunch of things. Why did Hikaru throw EX fireball? Because charge flicker from Ed and regular fireball from Ed can dissipate her fireball and then give him advantage in mid-range, or charge medium flicker, hold, beats her fireball and then hits her through it, and like it can catch her drive rush, and like it's annoying to beat, right? So EX fireball is like safer to charge medium flicker, it's safer to regular psycho spark, and it allows her to move in or whatever, right? Both of them made decisions. We can math out the logic behind both of the decisions that they made. We are 2 seconds into a round, and if you can do this for your own decision making and like what your opponents are doing and like what top players are doing, then you know you have a good understanding, like a base to build a better game plan from, because you can understand decision making. Have all of you ever learned to drive like a car? I had this awesome driving instructor. His name is Frank. I think without Frank, I'd be a terrible driver. He's a beast. One time we were driving, and I've been driving with him for a while. He was like, yeah, can you like get over into this other lane or whatever? And I was like, yeah. So I'm driving. I like check my blind spot, like go to the other thing, drive, and then continue. And he's like, you check your blind spot every time you go to another lane or whatever, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you know where you're looking when you check your blind spot? And I was like, I kind of just look that way. I just knew other people were doing it. You know when you watch a Street Fighter match and like they're walking back and forth on the screen, left, right, left, right, left. You're like, I should probably do that too. Good people do it, so like I assume it's right. So every time I turned, I like looked to my right because like people check their blind spots when they turn. So like I should probably look to my left or my right when I turn, right? Like I don't know, everybody's doing that. I just knew that I should look that way because there was a blind spot there somewhere. So he was like, all right, pull over here and I'll show you something real quick. He's like, I'm going to stand in this spot. You tell me if you can see me in your mirror. He stood in my blind spot, and then I checked the mirror and I was like, I don't see you. And he's like, cool, check your blind spot now. Like look to your left. So I looked and he's like, you see where I am? This is your blind spot. So when you check, don't just like look, just look for this spot. This is all you got to check. This is why you're actually looking at this spot. So that's why when I talk about fighting games, I love to talk about the why of what you're doing, everything, because it's one thing to watch somebody else. And he thought I knew how to check my blind spots. They turned their heads, so they must be looking at something. So I just like turned, and I never got hit because like unintentionally I kind of was checking my blind spot, but I was just like I was just looking, right? Like I don't know, I wasn't looking at the right thing. In the same way, when you watch games or you play the game, check your blind spots and really think about why people are doing things, right? Don't just be like, okay, let me watch a match between Fudo and Hikaru. Let's see why they did what they did, right? Let me watch this. All right, he did a move because he wanted to hit him. Think about the actual reasons why these decisions are happening. What are you actually doing? And when he got out and was like, let me just explain to you what you're actually looking for so we can do it the right way, that stuck with me because I was like, okay, whenever I'm thinking about something, I shouldn't just do what everybody else is doing without thinking about it. I should do the right thing because other people are doing it because it's probably good, and then think about why. Like, I know other people are doing this, but like, why? Yes, and what if you have no idea why they did it? Ask yourself why they would do it, and then watch to see if you can glean any insight into why they're doing it. When I see this interaction, everything about this makes sense, right? Because I played the game a lot, so I can tell you the reason he does charge medium flicker is because it beats her regular fireball, and it'll allow him to pull her in or get a punish through it if she throws regular fireball. So he throws EX fireball here because EX fireball will beat this option. Not only does it beat this option, but it gives her a safe approach behind Psycho Spark or charge medium flicker. It covers like 2 options. It's pretty safe, right? And because Fudo is walking back at the beginning of the screen and not holding any space, that means walking back to throw EX fireball does not really put you in any kind of danger. You know, he's not going to jump at you from that far away. And then when this gets out, Hikaru walks up. He sees not a lot's happening. He's not a lot of commitment. You know, puddle up. So he spends some bar, got some space, poison's on. chilling. I know these things because I played the game, but if you don't, try to ask yourself why he's doing these things. Why did he throw EX Fireball? Like, what does an EX Fireball do? Well, it gets her closer. That's better than just being like, okay, 3x Fireball, and then not think about it. You know what I mean? Just at least try to parse through. When you watch your own replays or your own gameplay, if I ask you, why did you do that there? And you can say, well, I thought my opponent would do this, this, or this, so I did that. That's way better than like, I ask you why you did something and you were right and you're like, oh, I don't know, I just did it. You know, as long as you can actively describe the decisions you're making and why, and you can actively think about the things happening on the screen and why, then I think you're closer to understanding your own or the game better, and like you can make better decisions behind it. Check your blind spot and know what it actually is, and then keep moving, right? I think about that example from Frank constantly in life. Am I looking to my right or am I checking my blind spot? You know what I mean? I constantly ask myself, do I actually know what's going on here? Like, am I really aware of what I'm doing, or am I like just going through the motions, right? Like, do I really know what I'm doing here, or am I just copying what somebody else did or whatever, right? I think about that example a lot because I didn't know. I just like looked at my blind spot like, wait, before I boot up though, did you guys see my clip from Deadlock? It's called Damn, He's Kind of Clean though. Look at this. Zipline, cancel so that I keep air friction, dash, jump, wall jump, shiv him off the zip line. Oh, that's clean. If you don't know, the first 3 seconds you get on a zip line, if you get hit, you get stunned off the zip line. When you get on a zip line, if you get off the zip line with crouch instead of jump, you don't have any air friction for 2 seconds. Air friction is like as you're in the air, you slow down. You don't have any air friction for 2 seconds, which means look at how fast I am. Like I'm zipping across the map, right? I did not know the crouch tech. Dude, I have some deadlock movement. Oh man, movement tech I got the goods.